and welcome to another episode of Filmmakers Review. My name is Anthony Gaeta. I'm a filmmaker, an actor, and a film producer. And I'm here with my colleague, good friend, and buddy, and a fellow filmmaker, Eddie Eniel. And Eddie, what's the movie that we're going to be reviewing today?
Hi, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. But before we get into the movie, I want to let you guys know that we have our own superhero right here, Attraction Man, that has super magnetic powers. It's our award-winning film. We now have it available on YouTube, so everyone can watch it for free. Go ahead and check it out. I'm sure you're going to like it. And speaking of that, also please like our channel and subscribe. We're going to be having more of these videos for you guys. So, Anthony, what is your take on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse?
All right, so for me, my take on this second installment here of the Spider-Verse franchise, there's reported three of them. So there's keep a lookout for the next film here in the Spider-Man Spider-Verse franchise. I think it was a bittersweet, multi-hero story about good and versus evil, and it also had it follows more than one main character. So it follows Spider-Man and also Spider-Woman and kind of their paths and how they are just trying to live their personal lives as well as their business life and the conflicts that are occur inside of the multiverse within the movie here. But overall, just, general, really good story. It was captivating. The expressions, the emotions of the characters, even though they're animated, it was still really, you got, it seemed like the characters had a lot of different layers, several layers, through their characters. So that was really entertaining as well. What else? So the story takes place essentially on Earth 1610, where, he gets bitten by a radioactive spider made by Dr. On, who's the Spot, the villain in the movie. The spider was actually meant to bite someone else, so that kind of is the conflict in the story. But it's really just the fight scenes. It zooms out and then it kind of zooms in. Eddie, you like the action, Eddie. So what do you have to say about the fight scenes and just the whole the
Absolutely,
movie itself?
absolutely. Yeah. Well, first of all, being that my favorite genre is action films, I was going to say that people ask me all the time, Eddie, what is your favorite movie? And they get I guess kind of surprised when I say that my favorite movie is The Incredibles, which is an animated movie, but I relate so much to that, to the story, and it's great. So anyway, I like animated movies. This one is no exception. It's really, really well made, really good visuals, really good special effects. The different sections of the Spider-Verse, right, with the different characters, they have their own colors, their own texture. So all of that is really, really good. I also like about the story that it's mainly about family and it tells the story about Miles Morales, right, which is the main character, Spider-Man, and Gwen Stacy, which is Spider-Woman, and they tell their stories really, really, really well. You see the conflict of them as teenagers with their parents and all of that. And when you think of it, people who have like great potential in them, right? But it hasn't come out. It's like you think, man, many people can say this. I'm more than what you can see, right? And so this is what these characters are going through. They're these superheroes that with all these powers, right? But they're also like regular human beings with their families. So it was a great, conflict there. It's a great story. So yeah, that's my take. What else you have for us, Anthony?
Wonderful, Eddie. Yeah, I agree. The story, the characters, the development. You can feel like almost a human sense to the superheroes. To Spider-Woman, to Gwen Stacy, and also to Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Just some fine details about the villain, and also again the good versus evil. So how the two are related. Obviously the Spider People. So those are anyone who's like Spider-Man. Spider-Man like inside of the multiverse. They're known as Spider People, and there's quite a few in this movie. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
just about, You're right, exactly. Like the good versus evil, and there's even some bad ones, I think, and you know, the fact that there's, universe here, universe here, universe here, universe here, everywhere, and it's all like part of the multiverse. And this is, I wanted to say that,
Hmm.
one important thing is the fact that this is an animated film to try to do something like this in real life, with live action and, CGI and everything to try to show in this great detail and the level how gargantuan the universe and the multiverse actually is quite surprising. They even use an example, to put things in perspective in this film. So the spider was actually a radioactive spider that bit Miles Morales on Earth 1610, which is in Brooklyn, where this story mainly takes place. So he's like essentially the King Spider-Man in Brooklyn. Now, later in the movie, they go to Earth 42, which is where the spider was supposed to bite Miles Morales in that universe. So it's kind of like parallel universes, and Doctor and the villain, he can like kind of change or control the space-time. So with his warps and teleporters and the holes, the spots that so it kind of like getting back to the story of the good versus evil, which is where this is all going. So I'll wrap everything together right here. So the Frankenstein's monster, it kind of reminds me of the conflict that Spider-Man has with Dr. On, or more so the conflict that Dr. On has with Spider-Man. Dr. On, the main villain, he's called the Spot. He was essentially, doing all these tests. He's a scientist. He has a hypothesis, and then the radioactive spider bites Spider-Man, and it's the wrong Miles Morales. So from there, it transitions. He kind of gets over it. So essentially, he creates Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man inadvertently blows up a nuclear plant, and then turns him into this villain, the Spot. And the villain character, the Spot. He's like shunned by all his family. He's got nowhere else to go, so he just takes all his anger out. Finally, after just not wanting to, he finally does, and he attacks Spider-Man. And he thinks it's like this epic battle, their nemesis. And Spider-Man's like, "No, I'm busy. I'm texting." Like Eddie was saying. There's like they're trying to live their personal lives as well as their business lives. It's really a good story of how complex life can actually be. And
Yeah.
Eddie, what else
And
did you
let
have
me
for the movie?
interject. Yeah, yeah, let me interject there with the villain, because this is a very different type of villain, because he's not like the evil type at all. It just happens that an accident happened to him because of Spider-Man. Then he turns into the Spot, right? And then he can put the hand through himself, and then the hand comes out
It's just
somewhere
like
else. It's really really crazy,
right.
and fun at the same time. But it's just about his utter frustration of what became of him because of this accident. And then he kind of wants Spider-Man to feel his pain. That's what this villain it's all about. It's not that he was a bad guy in any way, shape, or form. It's just that, dude, you messed up my life. You know what? So now I'm gonna mess up yours. And that's what it's really about this particular villain. And so the only thing I'm going to comment about the multiverse, it's, I don't know, it gets a little bit too convoluted for me. This whole notion that in one universe, Spider-Man is the hero, the super guy, everybody loves him, and then in another universe, he's the bad guy. Yeah, I don't know about that. Again, it gets a little bit too convoluted for me, but everything else that I've mentioned, just the visuals and the special effects, all of that thing were great for me. So, Anthony, you have anything else?
Yeah, I agree completely. Like, the expressions on the characters, well, also the story of the characters. Like I mean, it's been said, that you can feel them, like their characters, and the fact that it's animated, and the Spot, he's like reaching in, and he attacks like an ATM machine. He's like, "I'm not a bad guy. I need money. Let me rob you." It's like it has a very good comedic aspect. Like even Spider-Man Miles Morales, he's like he's very witty with the comebacks, and it's like he says things that you really wouldn't think to say in the moment, or not everyone would, but I guess because he's got the spidey senses and he's quick, with motions. his mind. He's able to say things, pretty fast and clever. I just a couple of comparables to the other movies, like the Super Mario Bros. Movie, how Luigi and Mario are kind of like two main characters, similar to Spider-Man, Spider-Woman. They're just going through and like the
Hmm.
world, the universe is just like throwing all these curveballs on them. It's like every day's a Wednesday for them, and it's just like, what else do they have to go through?
Hmm.
And another one would be Ant-Man, the Quantumania, just the similarities between the multiverse and also the quantum realm. The multiverse is really big, and then the quantum realm is really small, like tiny, like but similarities yet very vastly different. Are two
Hmm.
key points that I was wanting to make on that. And I just want to mention real quick the directors. There's quite a few directors listed, directed by Joaquin Dos Santos,
Hmm.
Kemp Powers, and Justin K. Thompson. So it's not very easy to make like an animated movie, especially and to make one look this
Hmm.
good. Like Spider-Man, this time he went across the Spider-Verse. So it's just like there's just endless possibilities with this multiverse. I know Eddie's not a fan of the multiverse, but I really like it. I like movies that deal with time travel, like the space-time continuum, like what, it's kind of like mainly what my whole take from this whole movie is like what these two characters essentially are having to go through. They're just trying to define their life's purpose, and they have a side mission to protect the world, the universe, their universe. So it's really an entertaining movie. Eddie, did you have any takeaways or last thoughts, final thoughts?
No final thoughts. Again, very great visuals, very good action, very well made. Again, I'm still not a fan of the convoluted multiverse thing, especially when a good guy turns to bad and another one, I don't know. Anyway, so I'll just
Oh,
rate it.
Dr.
I'll give it
Han,
an
yeah, the
eight.
spot. What was that? One more
Yeah,
time? Oh,
I'll
okay.
give it
So
an eight.
very good. For me, I'd say I give it a little bit lower, like a 7.7. I mean, it was good. It's just the the fact that it's not a part two, part one kind of series. It's like the movie just kind of ended. Mission Impossible has the part one, Dead Reckoning, and then part two, Dead Reckoning, is gonna be coming out after that. I think it would have been good to split the movie up if they were going to tell the story and just kind of end it like they did. But the cutscenes were cool at the end, the ending credit scenes, the mid credit scenes. So, yep. All right. Well, thanks again, everyone, for joining us on another episode of Filmmakers Review here. Please remember to like, subscribe, check us out. We got new episodes coming out all the time, regularly here. So thanks again for watching.
All right, bye.